Every night I go to bed with this lush feeling that I did exactly what I wanted to out of that day. These days have been some of the most productive and well-efficient days of my life, but I came to understand a couple things on my own self-improvement journey. One of the largest I want to center with this message here is the idea of presence. Presence is what we aspire towards. It's what we see in day-to-day life, and it's how we feel about the things we do every morning. The exercise we do, the meditation we breathe, and even the work we strive for. The present feeling is there, but it isn't. In my own life, I have been working nonstop on this book and this business. I've been cutting slack on the meditation and exercise aspect, more in favor of the work aspect I'm trying to go for. The issue that comes with this idea is that there's plenty of substances that get in the way. Now, substances doesn't have to be exactly liquid, but it's just a metaphor I've been using to describe these pieces that are largely distracting at what really should matter at this moment. The things, the ideas, and the general thought process of our own heads sometimes gets the better of us, and understanding where that starts exactly leads us to the road we're going for. Now, even though I've been well effective in my own work life, there has been times where I've simply haven't thought that. I overthought a lot of situations. I felt terrible in the moment to see what I'm doing. And even if I don't know exactly what I want to do, it feels invigorating. And it's a terrible feeling to not be able to just feel right and too stuck in the head. This happens a lot when I scroll on my phone or look at a screen for too long, which is why I like to go outside. But with the freezing cold of winter now, it's not a fun basis to build upon. So how do we fix this feeling? How do we feel more acute with the angle we're trying to go for and be more present? Tips come far and few between of how to be present, because by the end of the day, it is our own bodies, and how we control it is exactly the way we atone for. But understand there are practices that come together just by being present, to feel present, to actively talk with people. And the first major step is to simply talk to others. I made this short. It was supposed to be a short that I wanted to create, but it never came out to be. But I'm so proud of that 1 minute message that I would love to do more of the further I go outside. And it was all about creating more meaningful bonds with people simply by putting your phone away. In that video, I looked deep into my own thoughts and saw that the more you talk with people, the more present you truly are in day-to-day life. Now, I know this whole channel is built upon the idea of being present, but it's also a large centerpiece of why I say communication is key. We lack a social connectivity. Our social bubbles are too far and few between. I've had people, hundreds of people, come to me asking for advice of how to be more present with their significant other. And while I don't have the answers to those questions, I do give the simple prompt to talk with more people. No matter if you're extroverted nor introverted or any of the like, it doesn't matter. You have a voice. Use it effectively to talk with people that, whether you know it or know them or not, you have the abilities to just talk. Relax with me and keep the simple idea of eye contact. You like that transition? Anyway, step number 2, eye contact. Practice with me right now. Just look into my eyes. It's been a habit I've been trying to fix, watching my old videos and seeing just how I haven't been able to blink. And it's hard to continually see eye contact without coming off as awkward. But it's an understatement that is the key to our focus. The way we look at people, how we keep their eyes upon them. Even if it may be strange, holding that exact eye contact is what it takes. By maintaining the eyes, the way we see the world, we know what we should focus on. Our mind collectively just follows where our eyes go. And even if we're not exactly in the present moment, too stuck in our heads with ideas, it's still a good practice to maintain eye contact in the prospect that things will just turn out relatively well. We have the abilities to stare at people, whether that be intentional or not. And even if it weirds the other person, understand that they aren't for you. You may talk with people, but you also got to have the social habits that come together to be more present. Even if I can continue bringing about technology and how it effectively uses presence, this third idea I came to mind is one that I reclusively decided to keep until this moment. And it's the idea of technology and how it affects each and every one of us. Specifically, use it in the right need. Technology is a great aspect of how distracted we are. That short I made of social media and how our brains continue to take away our own thought process, you see that technology can and is just a way to connect with others, but we lack the social presence to be there. How does technology work to be more present? If it has all these negatives, there has to be one way of just communicating with people in the present tense. The key big idea I had in mind was simply to call. You may not have the eyes to see people unless you're using a face cam, but to call people, that is the key you have to understand. Texting is too easy. Texting is the big way we see things in our day-to-day life. But to have someone's phone number and the ability to call them, use what a phone was intended to be used for. A phone has hundreds and thousands of resources and apps that come together, but understand that it is from that phone feature, that ability to call people. It may not be exactly the same as talking with people in real life, as I pointed out in tip 1, but understand that the ability to talk with people is such a grand, magnificent feeling that you have it at your fingertips. Use that effectively to communicate exactly what you need to. Sometimes all it takes is the word balls. Terribly childish, yes, but understand that there are ways to start a conversation and to be more present. The feeling of presence only comes up between the inner core, but it's also the way we talk with people, the way we say our words, and it's the idea of not overthinking. Overthinking will continue to strive in our day-to-day life, but to be more present, the big tip I wanted to say is to stop being a consumer. Tip number 4, it's just the idea of consumption. No matter what kind of consumption you have, every type of consumption can and will be bad. It'll be used against you, whether it's the food you eat or the videos you watch. Now, I say personally, this channel is amazing for however you should go about it. Check out the other videos if you want and subscribe. But understand that it's also just an algorithmic video. I'm here to build a community, not to create selfish, endorsing men who continue to just be intolerable to the people and women out there in the world. We're here to educate and we're here to learn exactly what it takes to be here. And by here, I mean to simply be present with the world and appreciate how things move in day-to-day life. And it's the key aspect of simply just sitting down with the thoughts and really relaying those ideas of focus. Focus on the big agenda in front of you. Focus on the video you have in your eyes, and understand that the technological aspect may be there, but you have the ability to work. You have the ability to grow, and you have the ability to just continue saying your thought process in mind. You focus on the more boring topics by lacking the consumption, the consuming of things we do. While it's fun as a viewer, know that it's your turn to go do something. Make videos like these if you're greatly inspired, or to play that sport you haven't tried in years, or hell, even a decade for some of you. Understand that you have your own abilities, strengths, weaknesses, and all, and you have what it takes. I've grown accustomed to my own weaknesses in sports. I'm not very good at soccer nor basketball, and shouting out these words of encouragement doesn't help if I don't share my own side of the story. Even as a kid, I've always known that talking with people was my key, but I can't for the life of me play a good sport. I love me some tennis, but it's hard to play with people sometimes, and trying to find the exact balance of what works and what doesn't is such a large centerpiece to how we operate that finding my own place in this world has been difficult. I love going to school on the basis that there's different kinds of people, even if it's the not right people who don't do the things I strive for in these videos. It's good to meet different perspectives, and it's good to consume those ideas you hear, but know that you are your own individual person. Take those ideas and instead use it to fuel the creative aspect or the work aspect or whatever kind of success you're trying to go for. Money is the big benefactor to it all. Money is freedom, after all. But it's also good to think of just the legacy you're going to put out, how you'll be remembered, even if you're in high school currently. It's good to think ahead rather than think as the small town hero. You have what it takes, and the more you consume, the less present you'll inevitably be. It's a weird paradox, having that idea that sitting with your thoughts and taking it all in doesn't work as effectively as it should. It's good to sit with those ideas, as you see me here sitting with my knees to my back and stuff. It's good to see my own thoughts and consume it all, but know that you also have to create. Go out there and make some money, make some freedom, or make some connections. Use any of the 4 tips you have in mind. But this 5th and final one, I want to continue with this just thought process to simply go outside. It may be hard, especially if you're in the freezing cold climate like I am in my own state. But know that the cold or the heat or whatever kind of weather you're experiencing, it determines your mood. I've noticed that when it's freezing cold, especially in the winter, my lack of focus is running supreme. I can't focus on anything at all because of just how cold it is. I don't like the idea to simply change up everything you're doing just because there's nothing out there for you. But there is a truth in nature, and nature calls to us. It speaks to our chest as we've all come from nature and will eventually die in nature, so long as you don't get cremated or something. But it can still go into the plant roots, if you know what I mean. It's good to look into nature as a way for our efficient energy use. Vitamin D is important to each and every one of us, after all. But know that there is pieces of the sun and also water and air that you breathe in. And the more pollution we spread to the world, the more likely this isn't going to be the case. So we live in a grateful time where plants and trees are still currently here. And while this earth continues to heat up and the winters get colder and colder, know that to be present with anything, be grateful of what you have. And that starts with your home. It doesn't matter what kind of home you have, whether it's a 3-story apartment to the tiniest shelters. Know that we've all come from nature. We should appreciate what we've come to. Meditate on the idea. And for how stupid it sounds to just do all these practices, it may seem weird, but if you're watching this, you know that you're not part of the majority. You're not part of the daily consumers, and even if you are, you're striving to change it, and that's good. It's a great feeling to just feel the essence of change within yourself, but that doesn't start unless you take action. And I can continue advising how to speak with people, how to do this and that, but I'm not here to do that with this video. I'm here to simply share what it takes to get ahead. I noticed that I've been judged a lot for how I act and the way I speak. Even if I can't set up the right profile of what I'm doing, my work continues to satisfy my own desire to be present. Just the strong urge and belief to just work, even if it means sacrificing others for the greater agenda. That's what it takes sometimes to be in this moment, to hear me out. And the reason why you're watching this is maybe because of background play. It doesn't matter, I'm still getting views. But it's also good to look back and see just where we're going from here. You have the ideas. You have the present moments, and whatever kind of story you can make it up, I have something of value to say, something to educate, and you're here to learn exactly what it takes to feel ahead. And that starts by all these 5 tips. Whatever one you start with, they're all nuanced ideas, and trying to overthink them is just adding more to your problems. It's to understand what it takes to be ahead, and it's to understand why we're ahead in the first place. The reason that's the case is because we should be where we are. We have the knowledge of sharing stories. Our storytelling is what connects me and you together. And listening to those stories is one of the big key aspects to presence I've ever seen in my life. It may be addicting to watch these YouTubers, but it's also good to see their entertainment. We want to see how they react to the things we love, and we feel a more connective tissue by just the ideas and beliefs we have. But we need to balance it out on the idea of self-destruction and self-belief. Self-belief is the beliefs we crave for and we act on a day-to-day basis. But the destruction that comes, whether that be saving the city or destroying our own self from the inside out, know that you have any choice to be both a savior or a destroyer. It's a terrifying expression to think of that one friend who you couldn't save, but it's a truthful expression that they just couldn't be there in the present. They couldn't be where they are, whether that be for themselves or others, and it's a sad reality to live in. But know that you have the choice now. You have the choice to rise up above like a phoenix and come out on top. It may be difficult with the people around you, but you need to have that same self-belief in the back of your mind. You have everything going for you. This video, my message, and your own wisdom to move forward in a way that just doesn't involve the success stories you have. I've always wanted to escape my own addictions to social media, and getting that great amount of sleep has aided that presence feeling. If I had to throw in extra tip number 6, if we had to be honest, it'd be sleeping. But it's also on top of those healthier habits, the things we do each and every day, and the things we strive for. It's why I'm recording this video, understanding that my head hurts staring at a screen. I don't want to stare at a screen for this long, and how much time I'm wasting staring into my own connections and people that don't care about me. Things come and go with the idea of presence. It's a feeling like many other, but it's a feeling that applies to all types of emotions, whether that be the anger we feel, the sadness that comes when we lose someone close to us, or the excitement that joys and giddies whenever we feel a dopamine rush. But it has to be a good kind of dopamine rush, like the types between dopamine and serotonin. Get the work kind, where you feel good and no regrets, compared to the feel good for the moment and not exactly the pain you would feel because of the time you wasted. It's a good balance to know that there is long-term and short-term presence. We should focus on the long-term presence, the ability to stare at this camera and practice now with my eyes, and know that we have what it takes. We have exactly what it takes. And I may be yapping about some stupid damn idea that no one should care for, but I know in time this will be the key to society. The more kindness we act, the more present we feel, even on social media and those devices. We have what it takes. We have exactly the pieces we need to cultivate our best possible lives. We can't save everyone. We can try doing so anyways. I know that things have been hard if you come to this video questioning, are we truly present in our modern beliefs? I don't know anyone exactly who would question why we aren't present, but it's also the large amount of distractions that come to our mind. Philosophy is a key idea in many of this. It's how we believe and how we think. But it's also good to take action. You have the abilities you have in mind, and people in this online world may be a huge distraction to what you believe and cultivate towards. But that's okay. Turn off the phone, turn off the laptop, and look at me in my eyes. Look at me in my eyes and tell me things will be okay. When you tell me that's the truth, I know, like you and me, we'll be all right. And I hope with this message, you'll continue to do well. Even if you lose focus from time to time, know that presence comes with a breath in and a breath out, and to work towards whatever you're going for. It's the right motive to have the right successful people in life, no matter what you're trying to go for, the money, the fame, or the status. Do the right thing and do the hard work, even if you don't feel like it. Not my quote, but I love to reference it a lot anyways. Thanks for checking out this message, and if you want to check out more of my socials, down in the description. Obviously, I've been working passionate about that, and to believe in your own focus of motivation and presence, check out my book. Even if it's a fiction novel, I'd say it will change your life. Check out my other channel, and until next time, take care.